Let's get into our Thursday National Cabinet with Mark Nicholson from Stepmate Studios. And with Tim Blair away, welcome back to Johannes Leek, the editorial cartoonist with The Australian. Great to have you back on board, Johannes. I want to start off with some of your work, actually, because the war in Gaza is such a massive international issue, but it's become such a big issue here in Australia as well. And a couple of your cartoons over the last week or so have really nailed the issue. Have a look at this one where you've got Australia announcing Penny Wong and Albo that Australia is going to join other nations to call for a Palestinian state. And the murderers of Hamas are sitting around saying, and they say that crime doesn't pay. Just brilliant stuff. And the other side of that, the way this plays out in the Australian political debate and in the media, is beautifully encapsulated with this cartoon where you've got the aid truck. It's Hamas propaganda shoveling out the propaganda, and the media and the UN and the rest of them saying more, more, more. Great stuff. You must be dismayed, though, Johannes, what you're seeing play out in the Middle East and in the public debate.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me back, Chris. Look, yeah, it is. It's an awful situation, and I find myself, I'm sure, like a lot of us do, sort of scratching my head when these purported figures are repeated, that are sort of handed to the media by Hamas or Hamas-linked organisations about, how many people are starving and without food or casualty numbers, all this sort of stuff. I mean, since when do we accept what terrorists tell us at face value? And yet that is what is being sort of wielded as a cudgel against Israel in this debate. So, yeah, when that cartoon sort of popped in my head, I was quite keen to get it down on paper, I must say.
Brilliant stuff. And, Mark, the thing is here, I'm reminded of Comical Ali during the Iraq War, because we've got people on the Sydney Harbour Bridge on Sunday chanting for the Intifada, chanting death to the IDF, death to Netanyahu, people who celebrated the slaughter on October the 7th, some of them, and then Albanese gets up and says it was a peaceful protest.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And look, he's 5 minutes away from firing up the jet, him and Penny, and going down there and breaking bread with Hamas and having a very productive meeting with the good fellas at Hamas. Like, you can already see him doing something along those lines. But hats off to you, Johannes. It's hard to find the comedic insight on this whole situation. So hats off to you for finding it, because and being able to nail a lot of truth as well. Because it's 100% true that Hamas are probably sitting around going, holy cow, I think we're winning this PR war. Yeah. Holy cow, I think if we just hold the fort, crime might pay. Like, look at the Australian government, look at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. We're bloody winning this. We better stick around. And it's 100% true that everyone's just gobbling up. Yep, they're gobbling up everything that they're given on social media, and they're snapping it up. And it's 100% true that Albo wears that dumb hat, which I think is my favourite feature of all your cartoons, by the way. He always wears that dumb Akubra. It's such a good feature. It's so dumb.
Yeah. And if you just give us a few words from Albo, that spitting sort of talk that we get from Albo.
Well, I just sat down for tea and scones with the good fellas at Hamas. And they're good. They're lovely.
Well, what I love the fact is that Johannes always draws that. There's always the spittle coming out every time we see Albo, so we can actually hear him as well. It's brilliant stuff. Hey, I want to go to social media, and there's an interesting stats came out today about the most popular politicians, or the politicians with the biggest social media followings. Now, predictably, most of them are the leftists. The Green Left dominate here with young people, and because they're in power. But the odd one out, number 2 on the list, of course, is Pauline Hanson. And you've got to take a bit of credit for this, Mark, because a lot of people suggest the reason she's so big on social media is your cartoons. So let's have a look at a reminder of the cartoons you've been putting out for Pauline.
Whoa! Maxi Bonds are 2 for $55. That's so cheap!
No, that's inflation.
Not my fault. I'm going inside. Righto, everyone, it's tax time. You all owe me 48.8 cents per litre. How many litres on pump 4? 87. That's $42. Give it here. Oh, please, give me a break. Interest rates just went up again. I'm struggling to make ends meet. Don't blame me. That's the RBA's fault. Please, stop it. I'm just a humble delivery driver of a truck under 4.5 tonne. I can barely afford fuel as it is. I don't set the price of oil, mate. Cough it up.
Please, I can barely afford my Maxi Bond.
Hey, inflation's not my fault.
Yeah, the Please Explain cartoons. There you go. That's why there's so many followers, Mark, because you stuck me in one of your cartoons.
That's it, mate. Yeah, you're the viral hack that we do. That always is the trick, mate. You're the one to do it for us. No, I reckon it's very kind. We actually had a few people reach out today and say that cartoons were the reason for this. I actually think the cartoons are just a symptom of what makes Pauline the greatest of all time and such a legend. And that's the beautiful recipe of like authentic and fearless. And that's what she is. And I've seen them the way they do it. James Ashby will throw up a camera and they'll just say what they think. There's no spin cycle that they've got to put it through. There's no media advisors that they have to worry about. It's all just authentic and fearless. They say what they think, and I think that's what resonates, particularly on social media. Yeah,
sure
Pauline's
do.
just the best. That's why.
And those Please Explain cartoons are rippers, and I can't wait for the movie. And just before we run out of time, Johannes, I've got to get your thoughts on these pictures we've seen this week. We expect the unexpected with Donald Trump, but for the White House press corps to suddenly notice that the president's on the roof of the White House and they have to shout questions to him, it was extraordinary.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there? Taking a little walk. Come down and talk to us. Your help. Hello, Peter. You're looking good, Peter.
Are you going to build up there?
What are we going to see next from him, Johannes?
Mate, who knows? But if ever there was someone with a feel for showmanship, I mean, he is the man. I love how he's up there. He's going, "Hi, Peter, you look good, Peter," and they're all down there screaming. And, like, he works them into a frenzy by doing barely anything at all. It's quite incredible.
It is incredible stuff. Thanks for joining us, Johannes Leek and Mark Nicholson. Keep an eye out for Johannes's cartoons in the Australian newspaper. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Here's Steve Price.